Good afternoon, everybody. And Gene, it's rum. It needs to ferment. For those of you arriving late, hello. You got to go with the rum. Actually, today's concoction is a rum punch that one of my sons came up with while he was deployed, and it actually is pretty good. And I'm a big rum guy because my family's from the islands. It's actually a mix of two different rums, pineapple juice, a tropical blend juice, and something else. And I did not measure right. It's super strong. So I may be slurring at the end of this live. That would be funny. Awkward Texan, what's going on? Hello. Who else do we have? Lucky. Oh, look, I made it. 0 notifications. Watch. So Sassy has come home. I'm cooking. Live's done. And she'll go, "Are you live now? Is there a camera? Should I run away?" And I'm like, "No, I was done an hour ago." So yeah, hashtag YouTube, right? So guys, too much travel will make your butt hurt. I'll just tell you, you get totally exhausted from dealing with with all the road time. We used to have an expedition. Pineapples make it healthy. Yes, pineapples absolutely make it healthy. And yeah, I completely agree. Personally, I think if you mix juices or other natural stuff with liquor, it technically makes it healthier. Screw a butt from sitting so much. Yes. So the last time I took Peppermint for a drive, because she's a Rona dog, right? And it wasn't by design. I try, if I get a new dog, I try and make sure my other dogs are mature enough so that I'm not going crazy with all the animals, right? So um, the older dogs had enough space. I brought Peppermint home, and she was like that big. She was just this little corgo. And this just in, Salty Cracker Media said, it's about guys, color, and really, oh, a fantastic Freddie. I like that. Joe's keeping me up to date. My stool's flipping over. Joe's keeping me up to date with all the all the um, all the info and all the new acronyms, because I think part of the problem is we forget and then we use words. So speaking of that, Joe, let's see what Bullshit Tube has. Let's see. The New York Times. Okay, let's see what let me see if I can share this with you guys. I won't beat this up too much. I think hey, Heroic. What's up? I caught the very end of your live, and you were saying something about some really ridiculously priced houses, and I was like, oh no, you need to come to Texas, dude. You'd fit right in. Seriously. Other than they keep correcting certain words. To this day, if I say Brooklyn, my New York comes out, and they're like, that's not what it says. But I just got home from Jewel, paid from Jewel. Is that like a grocery store? Used to take the same exact train to go. Oof. Ooh. So I'm going to share this with you. I technically shouldn't, but I'm probably get written up for it later, but that's okay. So because I travel, I get these little advisories, right? And it's basically like, I don't know, shit, you guys can't see that. Okay. Well, anyway, it just basically says there's a special advisory. That time there was a riot in Argentina and I was in the area. They knew I was there. And Texans are weird neighbors. And then you get Arkansans mixed with the Texans. Then the cops keep checking on you because they don't want you getting out of hand. And as long as you don't get a Cajun thrown in there as well, you should be golden. You know, once you get all three, it's like the magic trinity of drunkenness, and then it just goes downhill. Jewel Osco, owned by Albertsons. Yeah, okay. So $4.29 a dozen? Did they come with gold? Why would, that's terrible. Geez, OPs. Anyway, the last time I did driving, and to Lucky's comment about square butt driving too much, I took the Corgo for a road trip, And I can't handle 3 dogs, so I just take 1 potato at a time, and, not gilded, store brand, oof. And, she farted so ugly that it ended the road trip. I don't know what she got into. It was the worst fart ever. I think my teenagers were close to that. I mean, it was I may as well have been pepper sprayed. So, yeah, if you have a long road trip, do not give your dog anything other than its normal food for 24 hours before. Golden goose eggs. A U-Haul. Let's see what, so let's see what these knuckleheads said. Let's see what's going on there, because there's a lesson in that. Can you guys see that? Collapse. You guys, there it is. Okay, so let's read, man. A man in a worker's vest put on a gas mask, opened a canister that filled a subway car with smoke, then opened fire. Police said surveillance camera that could have captured the shooting were not working. How convenient. You know, I'm not that big a conspiracy theorist, but damn. Come on now. Video shows an immediate aftermath. You know what's funny? With all the cell phones coming out of that train, you would think someone got a picture of this jackass. Brooklyn electrician helped get a gunshot victim to an ambulance. Eric Adams, a hobo. Maybe this, well, I bet he looks good now. Oh, look at me. Oh, that's a shit show. God, I can just smell the streets looking at that. Mm-hmm. Mac and cheese ice cream. Oof. That's a good one. Today's shooting is because armed citizens aren't allowed there. Yeah, absolutely. But they're going to blame armed citizens. Somehow it'll come back to some nonsense. It's kind of hard to take over the country when the populace can pew back. So this is a bunch of pictures here. That doesn't really tell us. Oh, shit. Sorry. At least 16 people were injured, 10 by gunfire. So I guess the rest got trampled when they freaked out. The search for the gunman was being hampered Tuesday by the fact that at least one security camera in the 36th Street subway station that might have captured the scene was not operating. Makes you wonder, conspiracy aside, if a guy's going to do something like that, he's going to do homework. He may have figured out somehow that camera's light wasn't on, and he's like, oh, this platform sucks. So I'm going to shoot up this train because I can get off on this platform and I'm going to disappear. During a construction vest, put on a gas mask before firing the shots. They hit people in the train. The shooting set off panic. And there's a bunch of folks tore up. Sorry for the blood, guys. Wounded people. He hit a lot of them low. Look, they're all holding their legs or their abdomens. How can they release the suspect's name? They don't know who the schmuck is. John Butsikari is 15, a freshman at Brooklyn Tech. Said his ride on the northbound R train had been calm until the train approached 36th Street. When the doors opened, the conductor directed passengers that had gotten on the platform to jump into the R train. So that's a mess. Okay, but I have cell phone video. Allegedly connected to the shooting. Well, you know what? I think everything changed post 9/11. Honestly, when I was still a responder, I'd gone to some classes, and even responders will say it all changed after 9/11. People panic. Hey, Mrs. Ghetto, what's going on? Arkansas. Hello, Sherry. Coffee. Woo. But not now, because I'll be up all night. So I went with the rum punch. So this is a good example. Here's a great lesson for all of us, right? Not beating up this actual event, but if you commute and you're not driving, you're taking a mass transit, even if you are driving, what do you have in your get home bag in your vehicle that within, say, 3 minutes, I mean, obviously, if the terrorist pops out right in front of you, you're kind of screwed, and it's either fight or flight. But you're in a train, something goes down in the other car. What do you have on your person? What's your EDC? What's in your computer bag? Because I use a Rebo tactical bag as my computer bag, but I have a pile of pockets. So I can upload or download. I have a bunch of little modular kits pre-packed depending on where I'm going and if I'm flying or driving. That's they will blame someone who watched your Mossberg Patriot video. Yeah, probably the MVP video. They'll say, "Oh, apparently Numbnuts couldn't shoot." Oh yeah, there. And a bad person picks something as a soft target. Yeah. So I did go through years ago. I went through a active shooter training course that had an FBI agent, a SWAT team commander. This were down in Houston. FBI guy was actually out of a different office, not the local one, and a couple of counterterrorism guys. And it was put on for local responders and corporate types. And I fell in both categories. So I actually went in suit and tie to that one. You know, I was all fancy because I'd just come from a meeting, and I spent most of the day there. And active shooters have certain common traits, and this is a little unusual. So most active shooters tend to be either psychotic or suicidal. Like they don't care if they get caught. Like the guy who shot up Odessa, Texas. Who's that other numbnuts? The one who shot up Fort Hood. Most of them were expecting to die. They went into it to perish, or they were expecting perishing. I forgot what the guy's name. If Lucky's still in the chat, she can help me with the name of the guy who shot up Fort Hood. But most of them, if you notice, they don't get caught alive because they die, and they expect to. The fact that this guy had workers' clothes, a mask, pop smoke, he didn't need to pop smoke. I mean, he's trapped in there with the people. He popped smoke to terrify people, shot folks, then escaped. They say they may have found his bag and gun somewhere nearby because the gun jammed. Let me see if I can find that. But this is a good lesson. Gun use may have jammed. Oh, there you go. All right, for those of you who are, hey, Bug, who else did I miss here? Coffee, Independent, Hassan, thank you. So this is coming out of my head here. Sorry about that. So, yeah, what's going on, Last Prepper? Yeah, it wasn't. They acknowledged the guy because there were too many witnesses, but they called it I don't know what the hell they classified it differently, which was kind of bullshit. Let me see if I can share this screen. Oh, sorry about that. Let's see. I'll share this one. Share screen. Okay, so gun. You got the fucking promo code bullshit. There we go. Gun used to shoot 10 in Brooklyn subway attack may have jammed. The bag and the weapon were recovered. At least 10 riders, they got shot, Another 19 or so strap hangers were hurt in the chaos because they freaked. One source close to the investigation says that weapon may have jammed. A weapon was recovered at the scene, as was a bag with smoke canisters and fireworks. See, that's weird because yeah, and that's a good thing, Joe. Actually, he was a dumbass, basically. But that's interesting. You think about it because the typical psychological profile of someone who does a mass shooting, according to these experts, when I attended this course, they're typically suicidal. This guy obviously was not. He didn't come out guns blazing. He shot up the car and his weapon jammed and he bailed. You know, if he wanted suicide by cop, he could have walked out with the screwed up gun. The cops aren't going to wait, right? They're going to see a guy with a gun. He has a gas mask. They're going to shoot his ass. But no, he dumped his shit. And he probably, I'll bet you that green worker's vest and his mask, everything is gone. It's somewhere in the trash. I'll bet you anything that turd may have jumped in. If he popped smoke, he dropped his attire, whatever it was, and probably went into the R train or out of the platform with all the other panicked people. Hence, he popped smoke. So you pop smoke, there you go. Smoke fills the room. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Doors open, and no, they didn't. Surprisingly, they're. I think they're parroting. Uh, they're parroting what they're being told by whatever source they got. So, but yeah, think about it. This guy didn't plan to die today. Like when Hassan shot up Fort Hood, he literally went to his knees in the middle. He was waiting to get shot, and the MPs tased him or some shit. The other guy, Oklahoma City oaf, he shot the cop, he ran away, and they actually captured him. These guys, those guys were on a mission. They were making a statement. What's up with this guy? He popped, I'm telling you, he popped smoke because then he could drop his gear. And I bet he knew what he was doing. This was planned, and it wasn't a random thing. I think he specifically picked the station, and then he made his way out. It doesn't jive. If he wanted to go out in a blaze of glory, he could have come out with a jammed weapon and pointed it at the cops. The cops would not have hesitated to smoke him. I don't know. That's crazy. That's crazy. Hey, Caribbean House. Yeah, it is. But this is a good lesson, right? Because one of my themes is travel. This next couple of weeks, I'm going to try to stay on that theme. The timing, really, really convenient. So it's like the bombs at the White House. Where'd they go? Who dropped them? Still don't know. But yeah, you put fear. Um, but yeah, that was a very elaborate thing. If he expected to pass away, why the smoke? Why the costume? Why pop the smoke at all? Just go up and tear up the car and then come out and tear up until the cops get you. No, there's something else going on here. I just don't know what. But it is really, yeah. And when you say planned, I'm assuming you mean it was planned like he planned to leave the scene after. He wasn't planning to go out in a blaze of glory. Because the gas mask, he could have been sitting there. He went in. He may have even had a face mask, right? Because they're making everyone wear masks in the subway. If he had a bandana or mask on his face, no one would have thought anything. He sits in the corner of the subway, which I remember those pieces of shit well. He looks down, he grabs screws with his bag, pops a thing, puts his mask on. All of a sudden, he chucks because nobody would have noticed him. He came in with a crowd of folks. Eventually, they'll find at some point he may have passed a working camera, but that's going to take some doing. Because you think the smoke there, people are running out. He may have just dropped that work jacket, put back on his little surgical mask, and ran out with all the other people. That or something. This is just really, really weird. I'm really not sure what to make of that. And you know, this again, as you guys pointed out, this comes out with at the same time as it comes out at the same time as some other political movements. Now, mind you, there was something I saw that I did not like, and let me see. There was a report. Let me see if I can find it. No, no. I'll share this one with you guys because this one, you notice this is going on. Hey, Red, Duck, the sky is falling. It's so much weird shit. Now, it could just be a guy who completely flipped out because he's been locked down for 3 years, and now they let him out in public. He doesn't know how to act. Yeah. So, well, fortunately, dumbass was unable to clear his own jam, and then he probably couldn't see because he smoke bombed the car, the whole subway car. So, but yeah, so there's a lesson in here, though, if you think about it. To LPS's point, um, how are you? What do you have in your bag when you commute? Now, a lot of you live out in the country, so you're driving everywhere, so you have stuff in your vehicle. But if you're a commuter, you know, you live in that tri-state area and you're taking mass transit, you're stuck in this tin can with the asshole. So, oh, it was an article on let me see, I can't find it now. Yeah, it's out there. If you put subway shooter gun jammed, it'll come up. Sorry, I closed it. Yeah. Also, it's an election year. Just saying, you know, we burned down half of the country a few years ago, but yeah, they did. I don't know where, but and again, oh, New York's gonna have to go at the end of the month because of work. Ugh. I would recommend taking a car service or a cab or an Uber. Um, that way, you're not in the subways. I mean, the subways were a shithole even when I lived up there. So yeah, they did find it. I don't know how they do it. If you've ever been to New York City, I mean, the subway is such a massive. Let me see if I can find a good subway map. It's such a massive thing. Let me see if I can bring one up really quick so you guys can kind of look at it. No, that didn't do it. Shit. Um, you just how do you control every single one of these things? Okay, so let me show you guys this, and this is where they're going to have problems, right? Um, possibly just tinfoil hat. I appreciate you acknowledging the tinfoil hat. It could just be someone who's a nut job, but the timing is kind of convenient. So could have been that too. Keep in mind they've lost control of New York City. I mean, largely, they're areas you just can't go. No, it will be almost impossible. I used to take the Long Island Railroad into the city, but Metro North would have run up the Hudson Valley, and that would be a nightmare. I mean, you couldn't do it. Let me see if I can show you guys the New York City map, just so you guys, for those of you not from there, haven't been there. I mean, oh, that's bougie. Look at that. Bring, magical map. But do you see that? I mean, look how massive that is. And that Manhattan's cut in half. Then you have trains coming in from Long Island. You have trains coming in from Jersey, in from Pennsylvania. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. Oh yeah. Well, growing up there, the fights we got into as kids often happened somewhere around the subway. Like a hobo would come out and grab one of the girls, and then we'd have to beat their ass, and then we'd run away because the cops would get us. So, and Lucky was talking about it at her lunch live earlier. Full moon, just better weather. It just brings out bull goose loony over the act out of sorts, plastered over everything. Yeah. And what this does is scares the crap out of people, you know. And I think I grew up out there. So yeah, it's we used to go into the city back when Times Square had hookers, and we didn't hang out there obviously because it scared the crap out of us. But you know, we drive from the south side of Manhattan to the north side, going through Times Square as quickly as possible. We did also find out, you know, because people solicit you when you get stuck at that light. And one of my buddies told them to go away and they wouldn't. So he decided it would be fun to throw apples. I don't know where the hell he got a bag of apples in his car, and he started throwing produce. And yeah, that's when we learned the NYPD frowns on throwing of produce in Times Square. We just were not allowed to do that. Fortunately, we hadn't started drinking yet, or we all would have had a really good jail story that night because dumbass decided to throw massive in too many levels. Yeah. I mean, okay, so just so you guys understand, every one of those dots is a platform, but the platforms have multiple entrances coming up from the left and the right. It would just be a nightmare. They just couldn't do it. You'd have these lines for hours. Um, yeah, yeah. Well, you know, Pendejo didn't know how to clean his weapon. Okay, yeah, I used to spend a lot of time. Well, I grew up in the city, but I spent a lot of time out in Suffolk. Used to hang out with friends of family out in like Greensport, and you know, we used to drive around Billy Joel's house because we thought we were important until the security ran us off too. We got run off a lot growing up. I mean, seriously, I spent a lot of time getting run off from shit. The timing is super sus. It really, really is. Yeah. And what's odd, if the guy really wanted to do damage, there are a lot of other places, Penn Station, Grand Central, or the Long Island Railroad right there. Lots of people crowded up. He could have done all sorts of damage. He like did a very poorly executed attack and then ran away. Like, what the hell was that about? It makes you wonder. Um, that very topic, Joe, is why I stopped watching the movie Designated Survivor, the show, the miniseries. The first season was great, right? I was like, this is a good series. The second one, I'm going to half ruin this series because it's going to piss all of you off too. Um, they a military or a governmental entity tries to execute the survivor while he's trying to rebuild the country, right? Because he's now the president, and because of that, they then pass an anti-long gun law in this movie. And I'm like, you guys basically just acknowledged that a out of control government faction is responsible for taking away a constitutional right by creating a false flag. Like it literally went there. And I'm like, I can't. Yeah, you guys got political. You had a great storyline and you screwed it all up. So Little Rock is the biggest town I've ever actually spent much time in. Most of the place, like, yeah, I'm the same. Uh, See, and that would be like having something like this happen in Bayside or Flushing. You know, it's just there's certain areas you're like, that's a cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, asshole. I'd enjoy a video of Ark in New York City. You know what we need to do? We need to get like a handful of us to all agree to meet, since a lot of us are in the South, meet at like Dallas and just get a live stream going. Everyone alternates the live stream and have like 5 of us idiots just kind of go around the JFK Museum and all that. Actually, Joe Morgan, I sent him a bunch of pictures, him and a few other folks on Discord of the JFK Museum, which was super cool. Yes, she actually went to a competing high school of mine, and actually I know people who were friends with her growing up, which is just weird. And she talks like that for real. She talks like that. Yeah, it's really, I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. I can't imitate her. 2 nights in Chicago. So, true story, Kentucky. My son, my older boy, coming back from basic, and I don't know why what the logic was. He was in Virginia, but they flew him into Chicago to then fly him to Dallas to go to Houston. It was military flights, right? They get the cheapest shit. Yeah, you go wherever, we don't care. And he said he got down, Fran Drescher, yes. And all my friends from parts of Queens spoke just like her. All my friends from Brooklyn spoke like her. It was really funny hearing it. And then I run into people from New York City down here who have not lost their accent completely, or they still have a really thick one. And it's funny because you can pick them out. Sassy has a really good friend who's a Sicilian who grew up on the East Coast. And you can hear her talking, why your drink sucks, you know? And you're just like, yeah, she's over there. We found her. Never mind. Bartender, don't worry. Cut her off, though. Welcome to Roaming's Kitchen Show. Yes. I was going to do cooking today, but I actually had a bunch of leftovers, and I'm like, I concocted a dinner. So I was like, this will be left overnight. We're going to burn up some of the food. I ain't going up there. I ain't lost nothing in New York. No, I was thinking, because you're in Arkansas, I'm down in Texas, meeting like Dallas or Tulsa. Tulsa's a fun town. Dallas would be fun. Where else? New Orleans. Yeah. So my brother lives in New Orleans, and he said it's become a shit show. Like, you can't park anywhere in the parking lots, because the minute you pull in, you back in your car and you're trying to get out, people are soliciting you for money. In the past, they wouldn't screw with you in the parking lots, right? They wait till you were meandering and buying sodas, and they'd ask you for, yes, the stockyards. See, Lucky's super smart. We're lucky to have her because, she knows things. And by the way, go catch her live from earlier because it was actually funny. And it was actually Lucky. That was actually a fun live because it was very low key. Everyone was just enjoying themselves in the chat. Let me close some of these windows. I got like 5 million windows up here. There we go. And but anyway, you can see what a logistical nightmare. A Green Thumb Prepper came up with a fantastic Freddy. You could also call it a fake foobar. That wouldn't be bad. The potato is passed out. UPS already came, so they have no one to bark at. And the loofah got run off for being a douche. I don't know what he did. The corgis went after the Papillon, and they beat his ass. And he's in protective custody for his own benefit. Because if I let him out, the girls are going to go after him again. And no, sir, it wasn't me. It was someone else. Hey, William. So let's see. What else? What other mischief can we study here? Let's see. But again, going back to that, I mean, this is a good lesson, guys. If you do commute, you're in an airport. My EDC always involves a flashlight. Like, I can't bring a knife. I can't bring a gun to an airport, obviously. But even on my keychain, I got this stupid little flashlight. And that's all it does. It doesn't do the fancy shit like, you know, it doesn't do blink. It's on and off. That's basically what you get. But, you know, I'd rather have that than a knife on my keychain because you think about it, lights go out somewhere, strange hotel. I know my way, or I can walk around my house in the pitch black, but I'm in a strange hotel. I'm going to forget, especially when you're on those trips, you hit 3 or 4 different cities. I'll start forgetting what my room layout is. You just get exhausted. And yeah, I remember who said it first. It was back when YouTube AI really started cracking down on words. Might have been Marf. Papillion, the Papillon's Papillions. I call him a Papillion. He is super cute. He's also a bit of a jerk. He still acts like a puppy, and then he gets in trouble, and the corgis kick his ass. So it's kind of comical to look at him because he's this little fluff who's always talking smack. Let me see if I can get you guys a really great picture of his little butt. But I'll tell you what, they use this little dog for herding in Europe for goats. He's a little too small for. Let me see if I can get you guys a little. I'm going to share a screen with you here. Hang on just a second. Let me see if. Oh, no, it won't let me do it. Damn it. Okay, never mind. Sorry. There'll be no Papillon pictures today. But yeah, if you look up that little dog, I was wondering why some. What surprised me, nobody punched him. Nobody. Yeah, their fur is soft, except mine is not because he keeps fighting with the corgis in the dirt. So right now he kind of looks like an old dish towel. He does, and he smells bad. You know, Hatsumomo smells, and his ass needs a bath. Hey, Red, Return of the Red. The movie Papillon was good too. I have not seen that. I've seen parts of it. This is a good lesson, guys. I mean, all the theories we have, and I don't disagree with any of you. It's a good lesson. You know, basics. When I go on trips in my computer bag, I will put a tourniquet. I will put an Israeli bandage. I've got stopped at TSA. I had a small first aid kit in a Ziploc, and I had an Israeli in the pouch, and they kind of, you know, they threw my bag through, and I do pre-check, right? So they just scan my bag, and I go through the metal detector, and they looked. Oh, that's true. They've changed the law. Yeah. Well, that was my goal. I forgot. I'm going to post some video outside the range we went to in Austin. But I was teaching East Coast folks how to shoot. They had a blast. Now they're like, "Oh, we're going to send you pictures when we go shopping because, you know, we want to get a bolt action, we want to get an AR." So leave the attitude there. Nice. Yeah, today I'm going low key because I'm going to be doing this live, which I may have to cut a little short here shortly, and then I'm gonna have dinner, and then I'm gonna jump to. I've been invited to a podcast by one of the very people out here, if he's still there, LSP, and we're gonna do a podcast. So be sure to check that out too. And yeah, it'll be a busy night. So I kind of work was done with me by 3:30. So mowed the lawn real quick and ran inside. I'm like, okay, I'm done. Um, I carry a gun or I don't go. Yeah. And actually, so switchblades are legal in Texas, and Red October could probably tell everyone about all the um, all the knife laws. But pretty much, you can carry it like a Conan broadsword, and unless you're doing bad shit, nobody cares. Good Easter deals on PSA right now. Really, I got the shorty upper from PSA. I bought the lower. It was a BCM lower. It's a really nice one, and it was multi-cal, so it was really nice lower. And then they had the riot in the Capitol, and I said, "Shit." There was no firearms involved except for the ones the law enforcement used on the protesters. But they start talking about controlling the populace, which is what it's about, right? and banning firearms. And I said, I better go buy the whole upper now. I'm not going to piecemeal it. Yeah, pretty much anything. Hey, Magic, what's going on? I actually have a switchblade, which is legal here, even though sometimes I get the cross eye, but I don't advertise it too much. Yeah, you can buy switchblades down here. Like half the shit I have in my truck will get me 5 years in New York City, and that's without a gun. Actually, guys up there, those of you on the East Coast, New York City, even the magazine will get you in trouble, right? Like if you have a 30-round mag for an AR, you have no firearm, no bullets, just the mag. Isn't that a felony? Like you can go to jail for that shit, right? Get them while getting new rules. Yeah, that's. And they shouldn't. And they have built a wall. They have built a weird fence wall around the Capitol, which is just absolutely crazy. So segment, yeah, I thought it was illegal. You have 10 rounds max in New York. That sounds about right. And then you have to put the fins. If you can actually get an AR of any type, it has to have that weird fin so it doesn't have a pistol grip. I had an antique one that got rooked, had Golden Dragon. Oh, that's cool. Ghetto, what's going on? I'm refusing to go east of Wyoming. So, yeah, lessons learned on the trip, right? For these folks in the subway, right? Situational awareness. Surely this guy was acting squirrely before he did anything. Nobody, I bet you everyone was doing this. And nobody looked up to see what people were doing around them. And that's a bad habit New Yorkers get, because they're like, if I ignore the guy yelling in my face, he'll go away. And in this environment, you can't do that. You got to look at these fuckers. Changing subject a little bit. Got my Easter hint. That's a good deal. And actually, that was the other subject I wanted to cover today. Going for food. Those of you in Texas, if you buy, oh shit, if you buy, I think it was, you know, HEB has those fajita meats that are pre-seasoned and all that crap. You get the big loaf. I'm actually about a third of the way through it. The Texas toast, which is just ridiculously cut. Would I take those? If you have an air fryer, get a thick cut bread. If you don't have thick cut bread on the East Coast, you can use an Italian loaf, cut it in half, make a little hole, throw your egg in there, stick it in your air fryer. 10 minutes, no, 7 minutes, throw some cheese on it, 5 minutes more, and take it out. You get an awesome egg half sandwich. And if you have a big enough air fryer, you can cook really quick. And actually, tonight's dinner would be, which I'm going to have to heat up. It's actually chicken strips I picked up at Sam's. Same thing. These are from last September. So for you guys that don't know what you're missing out, yeah, no, it's HEB is a very unique type of grocery store. The supply chain's shorter. The price is slightly higher than Wally World, but it's not enough to where I would go to Walmart. Unless I happen to be in Walmart, I will drive past Walmart to go to HEB if I can. I know a fella named Heb. But yeah, lessons to be learned in this Brooklyn thing today, folks. I mean, seriously, keep a small first aid kit in your bag. Flashlight. I'm having turkey for dinner. We don't have HEB up north here. No. Lucky Red, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't HEB Texas and Louisiana? Is it even in Louisiana? Or is it only Texas? I'm not sure. But they've always had really good product. But yeah, what I did, I found this coupon. They tend to, and a lot of stores do this, they'll have a coupon sale and you buy, product A, and you get a bunch of, yeah, that's what I thought. It was just Texas. You buy A and you get all these other things for free. So I had bought, if you guys look back, there's a video where I got like a 3-pound bag of animal crackers, right? Like, what the hell am I going to do with it? That was months ago. I have it in a sealed bag, and I've been eating. That's been my snack bag. And it's going like 3-4 months now, and I'm still pouring them out. They're still good. I just have to take the air out. But yeah, look for those deals, because that's a great way to save some money. Because even if you buy whatever the product is, like chicken, and you're not going to eat the bread with the chicken, that's fine. Get the bread anyway. Let the kids make PB&J with it. Baby octopus, shrimp, scallop, and lobster sauce with tomato, garlic. Tonight on an artisanal, I hardly cook anymore. Felt like a treat. See, that's good. Unfortunately, the shrimp, and actually, Lucky, I need to send you an email, because the shrimp, Sassy will react poorly to some shrimps, but she can eat crawfish. But then we made fresh shrimp here. I grilled them, but I controlled it from shrimp to plate, so to say, and she didn't have a reaction. So I'm wondering if it's the way it's getting prepared that's messing her up. Oh yeah. Yeah. Hey, Alice. Yeah, it is the Butt family, Butt. I forgot what HE is, like Harold E. Butt or something like that. It's like the name of the original, the old man. But yeah, look for those deals. I'm going to keep talking about travel, and this subway thing actually kind of is a segue to the topics I was talking about earlier. I'm going to do for the next couple of weeks, that travel stuff. Stuff happens. It could have just been something as simple as somebody fell down and cut themselves open on some metal, and you have to help that person. But you never know. It's just, there's been a lot of crazy. I got to tell you guys, there has been an inordinate amount of crazy. We're still on the Facebook page for the police in Houston. And that's not bueno. We need precipitation here. Oh, did they? I wonder, subway shooter identified. Let's see. At least 29 shot or hurt. See, now they're puffing it up because only 10 were shot. The rest trampled each other. U-Haul found in Brooklyn, in hunt for Brooklyn subway. There's a lot of cameras in New York City, though, guys. So, amen to that. See, I believe 10 Caucasian. Yeah, who knows? And the problem is, they're gonna try to take something from the people because of the actions of few. This mentality of, let's punish society for the actions of bad people or stupid people instead of the other way around. Let's punish the idiots so society can exist. I just don't. I don't understand it. And now they got to find the guy, right? So it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder how were none working when that happened. So it's gonna be interesting, guys, without a doubt. I kind of left this one open ended. I figured we were going to talk about the subway. I do think there's a lot of lessons. Remember the folks who got caught in the blizzard on I-95 last winter? And there were people stuck in trains that had to get out of the train and they had to walk to the nearest town. And hence the name of my channel. I mean, people, when you think about it, even if you just commute and you don't really travel, how much time do you spend away from your home and your preps and your gear in your vehicle, in a bus, in a subway, in a plane? That's something that will, the probability of you having something happen while you're on the road, while you're in your car, while you're on a train is huge, compared to the possibility of someone like kicking in your door. So, I would recommend everyone really look at your EDCs, really look at your get home bags, that kind of stuff, because having all the gear in the world is not good if you don't have it with you, but you can't always bring it with you. It's not always viable. So, yeah, right. I mean, this weekend, hey Hudson, what's going on? This weekend, I mean, shoot, we packed Wednesday night. We were gone Thursday. And like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we got back late Sunday. So it was 4 days, 4.5 days. We weren't anywhere near home, right? So whatever I had with me was what we had. And again, a lot of my preps are modular when it comes to traveling. So I have a pre-packed first aid kit. I got a pre-packed tourniquet Israeli. I got a pre-packed emergency radio. So I go around the house and I stuff my computer bag with this shit. So it's in my bag. Plus, I didn't take my pickup. My pickup, I actually have a safe built into it, which would fit a rifle in a bag. Sassy's doesn't. She's got a smaller vehicle, so I got to get creative. So start thinking about it. Start thinking about, that's your homework, I guess. I don't know if that counts. Start thinking about how you would prep if something like that happens, or if you were in the subway and the lights went out on you, or in a hotel room, right? I think we as a preparedness community, we think a lot about, bug out or bug in, but a lot of us have to travel and for work, right? We go to work every day. Just for those of you like in Texas or even New York. So if you walked from Manhattan to Queens, that's an 8 to 10 hour walk. If you live in Houston and you're downtown Houston and you're trying to walk to, say, Spring, which is on the north side, or Katy out to the west, on foot, normal conditions, 6 to 10 hours, depending on your speed and your fitness. No, and I wouldn't either, at least not when I'm not in the vehicle. Like at night, I'd have to take them out. But yeah. And actually, see, that's a good point too. Sometimes a long gun doesn't make sense. So, you go with with a good solid handgun that you've chosen, if that's more viable. I actually have a folding stock carbine. I can fold it up to about this big. I can still shoot it like that, but it kind of sucks. But start thinking about how you'd be prepped on the road. It doesn't have to be an active shooter. It could be something as simple as, you snow, like the people on I-95. Now you're in the middle of a strange town and you can't get home. What do you have in your bag? And a lot of people don't think of it. And that's why you see people freaking out. And then now you have to deal not only with your own problems, but the stupids around you, right? Because they're going to freak out. And that's something else to think about. If you're by yourself in the country and you pull over, you get EMP'd, whatever, right? You stop. You grab your bag. Nobody's going to really care, right? You're out in the country. You're walking with a backpack. People look at you, guy going for a hike. Nobody really cares. You're in the city. Everyone around you is going to flip out. And they're not. Yeah. Yeah. And again, I've gone very modular because, like, I made a road trip. Tomorrow they may call and say, I need you to fly to Oklahoma City. Shit. Okay, so now I got to pull all my little packets out and figure out which ones I can get through TSA. I did find out that if you're flying, you can bring a gun, but it's a pain in the ass. As long as the other states, or if I fly from Texas to Oklahoma, I can bring a pew. As long as I follow the rules, right? I have to declare it. They put it in a box. They put a tape on it, and it goes with the dude, and then it shows up over there. It's a pain in the ass. I'm on body or touching my personal car. Yeah, and that's a smart idea. See, and that's something you can do. I don't know if they're legal in all states, so that's something you have to look into. Um, I have a Kel-Tec fold up, but it's not the one that folds in half and you can't shoot it. It's actually the carbine. The stock folds in and it gets to about 22 inches long. It's just barely the ATF limit. But it'll fit in a long bag if I have one. I could pop it in there and off I go. Uh, that's interesting. Yeah, and it may take some creativity, right? Because I have stuff around the house that we use day to day. Before I make a road trip, the night before, I charge everything: my O-light, my emergency radio. I bring a power bank with me that can not only charge my phones, it can jumpstart my car, and all that goes in like this old ugly ass backpack. I just put it in there and throw it in the bottom of the truck. Like if people looked at it, it's so janky looking, they'd be like, "Oh, that's garbage." Um, Anything good is secured, but yeah, I just take it with me. But you get in a plane, I can't bring a power bank in a plane, but you can bring a little one, the recharger for your phone or a flashlight. I'm going to start transitioning to more USB flashlights because now that will give me an option to solar charge it. I have a solar panel now, and I got the jackeries, so I can set it up. There's no shortage of sun in Texas. I can set it up and charge radios and phones. So when I'm traveling a lot, I have, yeah, and I don't fly as much as I used to, but when I do, I still have certain things I can just stick in my bag. And even though I have a checked bag, and the checked bag will actually have my Leatherman, it'll have my pocket knife, other stuff that I can't physically have with me. But if it's in a locked luggage, that's cool because it's not in my possession. Um, See, in awkward, there's a lot of different things we're all trying to do. We're gardening, we're cooking, we're storing food, and now we're trying to think, well, hell, if I'm on the road with my kids or my grandpa or my spouse and something happens, how do I pack for that? It can be a bit overwhelming. Yeah, de Blasio was the worst. I don't even think he was a good communist. I think he was just an idiot. The man was a buffoon. Like he literally was useless. At least Eric Adam is lucid. I don't like what he says, but he's lucid. I can live with lucid. You know, you're a lucid douche. Great, more power to you. But yeah, De Blasio was a baboon. I had just where I was in the. Well, it's funny because I mentioned they were talking about security during the protest, and they were telling us, look, if you guys travel or make sure you're safe. And then I said, just go gray, right? And I'm looking down. I'm just said that, and a guy I've known for 12 years next to me goes, come back. Let's go grab a coffee after the meeting. So we go grab, he's been a prepper for like 12 years. He and I have known each other for 15. Neither knew the other was into that. Like they know I'm a former guardsman. I was a responder. They knew he was, outdoorsy, but nope. And then as we're talking at the coffee shop, here comes another guy and he goes, hey, he turned out to be a homesteader with like a farm and acreage out here in the middle of nowhere. And he's like, yeah, something goes bad, y'all just grab all your guns, grab your food, grab your gear, grab your families. Everyone comes here. He said, I got guest houses. We can set up a whole encampment in about 2 hours. He's already thought of that. He identified his people. Like, I like him. He's a straight shooter. I like him. He's a straight shooter. I like her. She's a straight shooter. He's already figured it out. It's just kind of comical when you think about it. So, you might wind up running into other folks as you do your homework and look for new products. But yeah, guys, start thinking about that. Start thinking about being ready on the road, even if your primary goal is to get home. What do you have in your car? What do you have in your bag? When you commute on the subway, you're flying, whatever, however you get to work. If you suddenly stop dead wherever you are, what do you got? Just something to think about. It could be something as simple as just a blackout, like lightning, and oh, the train's dead. Well, I would hope. My sister worked in Manhattan for years, and she always brought sneakers because she said the perverts are in the subway, and she wasn't wrong. She'd wear heels at work. She kept two colored heels, like black and light, under her desk, but she wore sneakers to and from the office. And she used to run track, so she could move if she needed to. So, got a dog loose. See you on chat. Dog got loose. Oh shit. All right, guys. Well, look, I'm gonna wrap this up so I can get started on dinner. Thank you for joining me tonight. You guys be safe out there. This was a good convo. Still here. Learn to shoot your. If you have the space and you can do it, yes. No, you're absolutely right, Red. And you know, the way Red carries, he's very much a blade knife guy. That's not a bad thing because there's a lot less scrutiny for a blade than a firearm in certain environments. So, you know, you can say, hey, this is work. This is my work knife, you know. As long as it's not too crazy, most cops won't even notice. So give it a pass. Anyway, you guys be safe. Be careful out there. I will see you guys later in the week. And yeah, see what we can learn from stuff like this. I mean, what happened, but there's lessons in here for all of us. So you guys be good, be safe, and I will see you all a little later on. So take care.